Hello guys, welcome to part 1 of working capital management. In our previous video, we have discussed about cash budget, where we have discussed about how we calculate cash receipts and cash payments, and in turn how we calculate the closing balance of cash. In today's video, we will start on with the elementary discussion on working capital management. Now, capital required for a business can be classified under two main categories. One we say as a fixed capital, another we say as a working capital. Now, every business needs funds for two purposes: for its establishment and to carry out its day-to-day operation. That means establishment in the sense few expenses which are fixed in nature, like purchase of machinery, plant, etc. And the second part, it's about its day-to-day operation, which we term it as working capital. Now, long-term funds are required to create certain production facilities, as I said, via purchase of fixed assets such as plant, machinery, land, building, furniture, etc. Investment in this type of assets represent that part of firm's capital which is blocked on a permanent or fixed basis, and that is the reason why it is termed as fixed capital. I mean to say that investment in this kind of assets, land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, is for a long-term purpose, and that is the reason why it is termed as a fixed capital. Whereas on the other side, working capital refers to the day-to-day operation. In simple words, the definition says that working capital refers to that part of firm's capital which is required for financing short-term or current assets such as cash, marketable securities, debtors, inventories, etc. If you remember what we have discussed in cash budget, we mentioned that in cash budget we were trying to estimate the minimum amount of cash the company should keep in hand at all time, such that they can run their operation, the day-to-day operation. Cash budget is also one of the first component of working capital management. Now, in cash budget we were discussing on the fact that, say for example, I have sold certain amount of goods, products to certain customers who are going to pay me after 4 months. So after 4 months I am going to receive a certain sum of money. But relating to payments, say for example I require to pay to suppliers within 2 months. I require to pay wages, other expenses like electricity expenses within a span of 1 month. But I am going to receive money from customer after 4 months. But I require to pay my creditors within 2 months, electricity within 1 month. So where from I am going to get those money? So we require to make a planning as to how much of money or cash which required to be in hand at all time, and that is what we have discussed in cash budget. Similarly, if you go back to the definition of working capital, it says the working capital refers to that part of firm's capital which is required for financing short-term or current assets. So that means to say, it also, working capital management also talks about that what should be the minimum fund within the organization such that they can run the day-to-day operation. Now, the concept of working capital has been a matter of great controversy among financial wizards. Different views on working capital can be classified into two groups. So there are two major groups of classification. Number one is the balance sheet concept, or we term it as a gross or a net working capital, and the second part is operating cycle or circular flow concept. Now, operating cycle or circular flow concept I will be discussing in the coming videos. Today our main discussion will be on the balance sheet concept, where the gross working capital or the net working capital can be calculated. So there are two ways in which we can calculate working capital. One we say as a balance sheet concept, and the second we say as an operating cycle concept. So what is a balance sheet concept? So there are two components here. One is gross working capital, another is net working capital. Now, gross working capital refers to that part of capital which is equivalent to the current asset of the organization. Now, we'll come down to the term, what do we mean by the term current asset? So, what is gross working capital? Gross working capital is the summation of current asset. Whereas, net working capital refers to the difference between current asset and current liability. So, to recap, what is gross working capital? Gross working capital is the summation of current asset. Total of current asset is what is termed as gross working capital. What is net working capital? Net working capital is the difference between the current asset and the current liability. Before we move on, let's understand what is current asset and current liability. Then only we can understand what is gross working capital and net working capital. Now kindly go through this. Current assets, what is the difference between a fixed asset and a current asset? One of the major point of difference between a fixed asset and a current asset is that current assets are those assets which can be converted into liquid cash within a short span of time. That means I can convert or I can sell that particular asset and can convert into cash, which we term it as liquid cash, within a short span of time. That means the time period is less. So a current asset can easily be converted into cash. So what is a fixed asset? A fixed assets are those assets which can be converted to cash. Yes, it can be converted to cash, but will require time to get converted into cash. So time factor is one of the most important factor of distinction between what is a current asset and what is a fixed asset. So what all things comes under current asset? One is the amount of cash or bank balance which you have. Second thing comes is sundry debtors. Then the inventory which you have in your hand. What is raw material, WIP and finished goods? Raw materials are basically the material which is required to make certain goods or product. WIP is a semi-finished product. It's neither a raw material nor else it's a finished good, but it's somewhere in between. So a raw material required to be processed to form WIP, and WIP in turn will move into a finished good. So a WIP is somewhere in between. It's neither a raw material nor a finished goods. I'll just give you an example. If I'm making, say for example, my company makes leather bags. So I purchase leather, raw leather. So that is a raw material. Now raw leather required to be tanned. It required to be cut down into various shapes and sizes, which I term it as WIP. Once it is tanned, it's neither a raw material, neither a finished good, because I cannot sell it in the market. So it's a WIP. And once the raw leather being tanned, which is WIP, it gets converted into a bag, we term it as a finished good. So what all things comes under current assets? So current asset, cash will come, bills receivable will come, debtors, all those people from whom I am going to receive money, all customers from whom I am going to receive money, where I have done my credit sales. You have done a cash budget, so you will be understanding this. So then we have raw material, WIP and finished goods, which can be easily converted to cash. I can sell this and can make it cash. Prepaid expenses as well as accrued income. Prepaid expenses in the sense expenses which you already have paid in advance, and accrued income is that basically the service you have given and you are supposed to receive certain amount of money. All these are part of current assets. On the other side, current liabilities refers to bills payable, sundry creditors. Creditors are from whom you have purchased raw materials, you require to pay them. Outstanding expenses, certain expenses, service you have taken for which the payment stands due, bank overdraft, etc. So these are few of the topics which comes under current assets and current liability. So a gross working capital is a summation of all current assets, and net working capital is basically the difference between current asset and current liability. Now let's go through the balance sheet of a particular company. Now, if you check this particular balance sheet, you will find that the amount of information in asset side, there is a balance sheet of an asset side and liability side. Now, in the asset side, you will find information relating to intangible asset like goodwill, as well as fixed assets like land and building, machinery has been mentioned, and there is also information relating to current assets. On the other side, on the liability side, you find there is equity share, debentures, as well as the list of current liabilities which are given. If we have been asked to calculate, so from a balance sheet, by mere seeing a balance sheet, we can partially calculate the amount of gross working capital and net working capital. Now, how we calculate? If you check the asset side, because if you note that gross working capital, the gross working capital is basically the summation of current assets. This is what the definition is. Gross working capital is basically the summation of current assets. Now, what all current asset information has been given here? Point number 1, relating to inventory, if you check, the information relating to finished goods has been given. Finished goods in the particular problem is 60,000. Point number 2, What are other information related to current asset has been given? WIP. Now WIP in this particular problem mentioned 40,000, which is also a part of current asset. Point number 3, prepaid expenses is a part of, so prepaid expenses is also a part of current asset, which is rupees 20,000. Number 4 is marketable securities. So marketable securities, the amount is 60,000. So it's a part of current asset. Point number 5 is debtors. That means my customers who have taken products which I term it as a credit sales. The total amount is 90,000. So I'm checking the asset side of the balance sheet in order to calculate the total of current asset. Number 6, post debtors, I have bills receivable. So I have bills receivable. The bills receivable amount is 20,000. Number 7, I got my cash and bank balance. So cash and bank balance, and this amount is rupees 90,000. So if I add up all this, it is coming to 3,80,000. So it's coming to 3,80,000. So this is what is termed as the gross working capital. So this is the formula. The gross working capital is summation of current assets, and we have added all the current asset as per the information given in the balance sheet, and we got that the gross working capital or the summation of current asset is 3,80,000. Now let's discuss about what are the various current liabilities which are there in the problem. Now I just rubbed this the above part. So let's talk about the current liability in order to calculate the net working capital. So we got 3,80,000 as the summation of current assets. Now in order to calculate, so we have calculated gross working capital. So in order to calculate net working capital, we know it's equal to the current asset minus current liability. Now current liability, under current liability, what all things are coming? So current liability. So I require to check the liability side of the balance sheet. Now if I check the liability side of the balance sheet, the first and the foremost, I can see creditors. So creditors is going to come. So creditors, the amount mentioned is 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 is creditors. The second information is bills payable. So bills payable is also a current liability. So bills payable, the amount is 30,000. The third component in current liability is outstanding expenses. So outstanding expenses, how much it has been mentioned? Outstanding expenses is 20,000. So we got this as 20,000. So the next thing comes is bank overdraft. Yes, bank is a current asset, but bank overdraft is basically a current liability. So overdraft is how much? Overdraft is 50,000. So next comes is provision for taxation. So provision for taxation, the amount mentioned is 20,000. And last is proposed dividend. So proposed dividend which the company required to pay, the amount is 30,000. So if I add up, I will get the total of current liability. Now the total of current liability is coming, say 3 lakhs. If I add up, it's coming 3 lakhs. Now we know that the current asset, the total of current asset, when we calculated gross working capital, the total of current asset was 3,80,000. Therefore, my net working capital will be equal to total of current asset, which was 3,80,000, minus the current liability, which is 3 lakhs, which is equal to, that means the net working capital is 80,000. So I hope you have understood this particular concept of how we calculate gross working capital and net working capital. Now let's move on to the format of working, because we will be solving certain problems, we require to understand the format. So let's discuss about the formats which we require to do in working capital management. Now the the structure is, so we first write determinants of working capital requirement. So working capital requirement. So the format is working capital requirement. So there will be one column which is amount, which is in terms of rupees. So the first head comes is estimation of current assets. So the first head A will be estimation of current assets. So we'll write estimation of current assets. So first it comes estimation of current assets. Now under estimation of current asset, the first thing comes is the cash and bank balance, which will be given in the problem. So you already have a cash or a bank balance. So we take that particular amount into consideration. Point number 2 comes is inventory. Now inventory, as we mentioned before, can be classified under 3 heads. Number 1, A, is raw material. Number 2, or B, is WIP. And C is finished goods. So we have 3 important component. With reference to inventory. So raw material we have taken a figure, WIP taken a figure, and finished goods we have taken a figure. And the third, so this is a small format which we are giving. The third part is the amount of debtors or the amount of credit sales or the money which we are going to receive from customers. So these are 3. If I add up all this, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get the total of current assets. So this is the total of current assets, or total of A, which is estimation of current assets. Next comes is B, which is estimation of current liability. So next comes is estimation of current liability. Under estimation of current liability, point number 1 will be the raw materials I have purchased from creditors or suppliers. So creditors will come first. Next, point number 2. Information relating to wages or overhead. I can make it separate also, wages and overhead. The information relating to wages, overhead and other expenses will come. So if I add up these 2, so I get the total of current liability. Now C comes, point number C is working capital, or we can say this as working capital as net working capital, which is A minus B, this total minus this total. So we'll get a total here, an amount here. So this is what? Net working capital, or we can term this as a net working capital. Now what we require to do? See, once we have calculated net working capital, then we require to give an adjustment to margin of contingency. So what we write? We write add. Now what is margin of contingency? Margin of contingency is basically a safety fund kind of a concept. So if I require if my net working capital is coming say 90,000, so it is always better to have 10,000 rupees more or 20,000 rupees more to be on a safer side. So what we do? We add margin of contingency, which will be given in the problem. So contingency is CONTINGENCY. So margin of contingency we will add, and once we add margin of contingency, then the final total which is going to come is said to be the working capital required, WCR, or working capital required for this particular problem. So this is what the format is. Now what we are going to discuss today right now is the various formulas which are required in order to calculate the various informations which has been mentioned in the format. So this is the format on which we are going to solve. Now let's talk about what are the various formulas which we require to use. So cash and bank balance, this particular balance will be given in the problem. So we require to first calculate about raw material. So point number 1 is raw material. So let's write down in full. So what will be the formula for this? So raw material, I require to calculate the amount of raw material for current asset estimation, because raw material falls under the current asset estimation. So it is equal to, so we are basically trying to calculate what? In working capital, raw material, I have purchased raw material. Now raw materials are there in the store. See, I have purchased raw material doesn't mean that immediately I throw that raw material into my production facility. If I have sourced raw material, the raw material might be there for certain number of days in my go down before it moves into a production. So we require to understand the amount of working capital required for that. So the formula is budgeted production. You require to take down the formula, because these formulas are important in order to solve. Budgeted production into raw material cost per unit, raw material cost per unit into holding period. What is holding period? What do you mean by the term holding period? Now holding period means the number of days, or it might be months, that the product, or it might be weeks also, the product is there in my go down, not being used. I have purchased but I have not used it yet. I will be sending it to my production facility. So it can be weeks, it can be days, it can be months. So divided by, with reference to, if it is days, so it will be days. If it's not days, then it will be, might be weeks, or else months. So what is the formula? Budgeted production into raw material cost per unit into holding period divided by the number of days or weeks or months. Point number 2 is WIP calculation. So WIP, so same formula. So it will be budgeted production into WIP cost per unit into holding period, WIP holding period, entire thing divided by number of days / weeks / month as per the problem. Point number 3 comes estimation for finished goods. So if I have to calculate with reference to finished goods, it's equal to same budgeted production. Budgeted production means to say the amount of production you are doing into finished goods cost per unit into, now finished goods means to say once your finished, once the product is ready. We were given an example of leather bags. Once the leather bag is ready, it still remains in the store for packaging and other things for few days before the product gets sold via a vendor or via a franchisee. So that particular time is also required to be given. So into holding period divided by, if the holding period is in, say for example, days, months or weeks, so number of divided by number of days / weeks / month. And the last part of current asset is the calculation with reference to debtors. Now if you remember, who are my debtors? Debtors are all those customers who are supposed to pay me money. So already if they have paid, they are not debtors. So we will be using a term which is known as credit sales. So it will be equal to the amount of credit sales which stands in the business, amount of credit sales into cost of sales. I will come down to this particular point. Cost of sales per unit into debt collection period. Now what I mean by this, debt collection period. Now what I mean by this debt collection period, debt collection period means, see, the debtors will be paying you after 3 months. So that is what is debt collection period. The date, the credit sales, the date which you are paying, after how many months, after how many days, or after how many weeks. So that is what is termed as a debt collection period. If you remember, we did in cash budget that the debtors are paying me after 3 months or 2 months. So that debt collection period will be 2 months. So entire thing divided by, as per the problem, if it is in days, so it will be number of days slash week or slash month. So this gives us the calculation with respect to raw material, with respect to wages, with respect to finished goods and debtors. These are the 4 major calculations. Now let's talk about point number 5, which is creditors. So point number 5 is the calculation with reference to creditors. Now creditors, if I have to calculate, we have to understand that creditors are those from whom I have purchased raw materials. So if I have purchased raw materials, so the formula again will come to budgeted production. So budgeted production into raw material rate, raw material cost per unit, because what you have purchased from creditors is basically the raw materials, into, now you require to pay to creditors, so what kind of payment terms you have. So average payment period, again divided by number of days slash week slash month. And we have the last one, which is, so we have done raw material, WIP, finished goods, debtors, creditors, wages and overhead. So I'll show it at the top for wages and overhead. So if I have to calculate for wages and overhead, I'm showing one. The rest will also be the same. So if it is, say for example, with the calculation point number 2 for the calculation of, say, wages, if I'm calculating wages, so what will be the formula? The formula will be again same, budgeted production, this will be given in the problem, into the production units, into the labor cost, if it is overhead, it will be overhead cost, into the time lag. If you remember in pay, when we were doing cash budget, wages were paid twice in a month, 50% previous month, 50% current month, or when we were discussing about overhead expenses, it was either actual or after 1 month. So that is what is said, time lag. The time you take, or the time lag in the payment, divided by the number of days slash week slash month. So I hope you have understood that the format which we have drawn here, these all the calculations, the amount which we are going to find will be based on the following calculations which we require to do. In the next class, we will be discussing an introductory problem. On working capital management, where we will be using all the formulas which we have discussed and the format. Thank you. Have a nice day.